Jeff Fenech, welcome to the Quantum Leap 24-hour non-stop business show.
Great to be here. Great to talk to you. Thank you very much.
And really appreciate your time. I know it's late of an evening down in Sydney. It's just first thing of the day down here. So Jeff, for the people out there that perhaps not are into Australian boxing, you were one of the best known boxers in the world, 3 times world champion, 3 different weight divisions. What lessons did you take away from elite sport into your life after boxing?
Yeah, well, I think that preparation is everything. I think that the one thing I learned that if you prepare properly and, you do that prior to your event, you go in there with a great conscience, with a clean head. And if adversity comes, you don't get negativity. You get positive thoughts. And I just want to tell people, if you've done all the work and you know you've done it, of course, in a tough fight, there are hurdles, but you don't get negative thoughts and you say, I've done this, I've been there before, I've done all the hard work, I'm going to get over this. And that was my, I think one of the great secrets to my success was that I worked so hard in preparation for my fights. And there were times where people said, for instance, when I fought for my first world title after my 7th fight, and I was fighting 15 rounds. Oh, he's never fought 15 rounds before. How's he going to do it today? The most he's ever gone practice was 7. I trained for 15 rounds, 100 times. I knew what I was going to do. Nobody could put a false comment on my head because I trained for it. I knew that I was ready for it. People trying to make me feel, oh, if you haven't done it, how do you do it? I trained to do it, so I was ready for it.
Yep. And you carried that over into business because you've had a few businesses since those days, of course.
Yeah, definitely so. Like I said, preparation's everything. When I boxed and like tonight, I don't wake up tomorrow working out what I've got to do. I've always either have it written down beside me when I boxed and stuff, or if I had businesses, I knew what I had to do. So when I go to bed at night, I wake up knowing exactly what I've got to do. Like I said, my preparation is the key. It's the key to anybody's success. So you don't wake up and try to work out what you want to do that day, and you go to sleep knowing I've got a full day tomorrow. I've got to do this. I've got to do that. So you don't have to juggle time. You've already organised all that stuff, and it becomes second nature. It becomes easy.
Yep. So Jeff, I read once that you were a frustrated rugby league player, and that was a passion of yours at some point. Can you just share with us that journey?
Yeah. I don't know if I was frustrated. Well, listen, I was. So just think of this: when I was 18 years of age, when I was 19 years of age, I went to the Olympics fighting at 51 kilos. When I was 18 years old, I played Jersey flag. When I was 17 years old, I played flag. When I was 15 and 16, I played SG ball. So I was lighter then. So I was a tiny guy that made all the rep teams through preparation, through hard work, and trying to be fitter and better than everybody else. But I think that as I got older and I didn't really grow much bigger, and I got introduced to boxing, I knew that my time as a rugby league player was up because, like I said, I went to the Olympics in 1984, and again I fought at 51 kilos. So I came back from the Olympics and became world champion in 196 days, the shortest time ever from an amateur to a professional, and I weighed 54 kilos. So I'm 20 years of age, so 21 years of age, so not the perfect weight to be a first grade rugby league player.
Yeah, exactly. So Jeff, you talk about the 84 Olympics. That was the one where Russia didn't participate, and you controversially went out in the quarterfinals of that. Can you just share a little bit about what happened and what you learnt from that?
Yeah, no, well, the one thing that happened was it was the first time in Olympic boxing history that we had an Olympic jury, as well as the judges. So the judges would score the fight ringside, and then they had this. It was just like a boys' club. These jury people who went over and got a free trip on our money and on taxpayers' money and so on. And the judges said I won, but the jury said I lost. So they overturned my decision, and I went from being guaranteed a bronze medal to coming home empty-handed. But the one thing that I like telling people, because I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan, I know how dedicated he was. Two of the great things that happens when you go to the Olympics is you march in the opening ceremony, And at the end, whether you win, lose, or draw, there's an amazing after party. The party at the Olympics is something that everybody looks forward to. Well, I couldn't march when I got there because I had to fight on the first day and I had to make weight. So my priority was to win a medal for Australia, to be the best I could. Being at my best wasn't like marching for 2.5 hours in 100-degree heat at the time. So I let that slip away. And then because I was so disappointed when they robbed me, I got on a plane the next morning, went home, and I said, and I'm very, very proud of it, I said, I'm trying to get on the plane. I said, if they don't let me win the Olympic gold medal or Olympic medal, I'll win a world title for Australia. I was blessed enough to do that 3 times. So, my priority wasn't partying, or my priority wasn't marching. My priority was always winning and doing the best I could. And at the Olympics, I was robbed of that opportunity.
It's amazing how you would deal with that, because I'm sure there's a lot of people here that get disappointed in less advertised circumstances, and they deal with it in a whole lot of different ways, whether that's in your business or in personal life. So
again, the message that I try to give everybody about life in general, and people talk about athletes and these kind of people that they look up to. Mate, he's got a big heart. He's done this. No, we've all got the same size heart. It's first from the head, then from the heart. This is the soul operator. If this knows you've done hard work and this knows you're prepared to work hard, you'll push your body and you'll work hard. The heart doesn't tell the head what to do. Now, the head gives the message to the body, which obviously the heart operates. But if you get that positive message, you've done it, you'll be able to do anything. And so when I hear all these amazing stories about athletes and people, they had a huge heart. All our hearts are the same size. It's just how hard you work and what you're prepared to sacrifice to have success.
Yep. So Jeff, being a famous person, like a person that's had a lot of success in business, you get the tall poppy syndrome where people have a pop at you, or occasional people. How do you deal with that?
Well, I'm not the best to deal with things like that. And that old saying, if you gave yourself just another 10 seconds to think about what you've done. I think the reason why I was so successful as a fighter, because I was instinctive and I was explosive. And to this day, as much as I've like to think that I've settled down and I'm smarter, I'm still that little fiery guy that sometimes gets an edge. If somebody says something, I'll answer them straight back. I'll give them. Listen, I'm an eye for an eye for me. If they're good enough to give it, I'll give them some back.
Yeah. So Jeff, you've been around a while now. If you had so far your life again, would there be anything that you would increase, decrease, or change from what you've done?
When you think of it, I always say there's nothing that I would change. But to be honest, there's one thing that I would change without any doubt. When I've been through the adversity and some of the little ruckus that I've got myself into and some trouble that I've got myself into, I always think to myself, would I have done that if I thought what I was going to put my family through? And now that I've got children and you have this little legacy or this thing where people say something about their dad, if I had the opportunity to change, I would, but I haven't. So I've done those things. I've made mistakes, but my greatest, I think my greatest power is that I'm honest, and I'll tell people I've made that mistake. Please don't do what I done. I'm not proud of that. I didn't even think at the time that the hurt and the pain was going to bring my mum, my dad, my family. So I try to teach people a lot through some of the lessons that I've learned and some of the mistakes I've made in my lifetime.
Yeah. So Jeff, you've been a BBX customer now for the better part of 10, 15 years. What are some of the things that you use BBX for?
Well, one of the great things was I've been involved for a long, long time because I've always been involved in the sport of boxing while I was here in Australia. And then slowly, I'm one of those guys who've learned how to maximise and use it properly. And I think that there's a message and a little opportunity for everybody in the world that don't know about BBX or don't know about this amazing currency to go and look into it, because there are so many opportunities for us to use this to help us pay for using BBX to help us pay for other things. And over the years, I've learned to do that now, and I get picked up and driven around in amazing limousines thanks to BBX. I do go to amazing restaurants thanks to BBX. I can travel and stay at hotels overseas thanks to BBX. So look, I said it was a hard change for me, but I think that in this day and age, if people really look and are smart, it's an amazing opportunity. It's something that we all should look at because, it can help. It can minimise costs. It can minimise time. It can help us in so many different ways. But again, it just needs you to sit down and look into it properly. Talk to the people at BBX who are amazing. That's one of the great things that I've had. Is I'm not great on computers. I'm not great at other things. But whenever I make a call to the people at BBX, they roll out the red carpet and I'm looked after. So maybe I'm a little bit spoiled because of who I am, but I'm sure that people there will treat everybody the same.
Yep. So, Jeff, you became Mike Tyson's trainer. What challenges did that present itself to?
As well as being maybe the highlight of my life, because what an amazing opportunity that I had to train one of the greatest fighters in the history of the sport. And people don't realise what a great man he is as well. That was amazing. But, of course, there were heaps of challenges. There was challenges keeping him in the gym, challenges, keeping him sane and making sure that he was fine. And as a friend, I found that much easier to do because he respects people that he knows that respect him. So I had an amazing relationship with him. I still have today. For instance, just a couple of days ago, my young boxer, Brock Jarvis, who's also with BBX, he fought and he got a message from Mike Tyson prior to the fight, which made him so excited and made him settle down. And it's always great to have good people in your corner and powerful people. And Mike's an amazingly powerful person. I mean, I think he's, what Muhammad Ali was when he was around. I think Mike Tyson is the next, biggest boxer or sports person to ever, attract that kind of attention.
Yep, absolutely. So business like sport, Jeff, needs a lot of planning. And Mike Tyson once said that everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So, how do you react to the so-called business punches in the mouth? A bit like COVID.
Oh well, yeah. Again, it's all about persistence, perseverance, and working hard, and getting your model right. I mean, listen, for me, because I'm used to working so hard and having that roller coaster ride, I think that I've been down, I've been knocked down, I've got up, and I've learned that you only have success if you're prepared to roll your sleeves up and work hard. And I mean, I think that you can learn more from your mistakes than you do from your successes. And I know that when I lost my first fight, although I hated it and it was the most embarrassing thing for me and so on, I learned more from that fight than I did from any other. And matter of fact, I think that it was maybe the best thing that happened to me because at that stage I had this amazing big head and thought nobody would ever beat me. I was getting all this money, sponsorship, getting everything for nothing, and all of a sudden it stops. And you've got to think, wow, how am I going to handle this? And I'm one of the blessed ones, I will say that, because I've had great people around me and great helpers that I was able to overcome that as well and be successful today. And I'm very, very proud of where I am today and who I am today. Yep. I always tell people the ultimate judge is the mirror. I can look at that every day knowing that, as much as I get, I give, and I love helping people. I'm very, very proud. Not my achievements in the boxing, but my achievements as a father. I'll never forget the day I got married, James Packer, and we had everybody at my wedding, and they had a little board there that said that 3 months, 6 months, and 9 months was the entire period that I'd been married for. They had giving people odds. 24 years later, I'm still here with my beautiful wife, Susie, 3 beautiful children, my youngest daughter, Kayla, and my next daughter, Jessica, and my eldest son, Bo. So I don't know. I must be doing something right, and I'm very proud of where I am today.
I can see that. So Jeff, you started a business, or you've got a business, a clothing brand during COVID, and we've got some interesting people on our show from the retail world. How are you dealing in that space with COVID and retail, which must be a tough space at the moment.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, it's tough, but I'm one of these guys who is pretty blessed. Of course, I've got a bit of a reputation, got a name, so a lot of doors open for me when they've closed for others. But like I said, I'm one of these guys who tries to help as many people as I can and get them all on the same page. And I think that if you encourage other people that are in the same position as you, you become a team and you all work together, and that obviously makes things easier.
Yep. Okay. Jeff, we've got a section on the show around the world on wellness and health and whatnot. You had a brush with the big guy in Bangkok last year. How did you deal with that?
Well, I was very, very blessed. Like I said, if I went to bed that night and the ambulance didn't come to get me, I wouldn't be talking today. But I kind of try to deal with life and adversity in this way. I'm blessed that I'm here, and I'll always make the most of my life. I live every day to the fullest. I love to be as generous as I can. I mean, if I'm out there and I see somebody at another table, I'm drinking a glass of expensive or great wine, I'll always offer my wine to other people in the restaurant. So I love that. I love that part of making other people happy, because I've got the opportunity to be happy and I've got the opportunity to live a great life. I love doing that, making people happy. But I try to tell everybody, we are what we eat. You can go out and run every day and do other things, but your healthiest part is your intake. And if you eat properly and healthy body, healthy mind. So if you're eating properly and stuff, you automatically you want to do some training, because you think, wow, I'm this healthy kind of person. So if you're a healthy eater, you go and do exercise. If you're an unhealthy eater, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't care. So I have my message to people who want to enjoy their life and live it to the fullest is, healthy body, healthy mind. Eat good, eat at the right times, which is very, very important. Like as you know, I just told you I'd eaten. It's like maybe 7:30 now, so I have dinner every night at six o'clock, so that my food has time to digest before I go to sleep. And I think all those kind of things make important to be healthy. And I think with my health scare and my sickness, it was hereditary. My father died at 57 from the same problem that I had. My dad had plastic valves. I now have a pig valve in my heart at the moment. So it just came out of the blue. I never knew. I'd never been sick, never had any problem with me at all. And all of a sudden, over a period of a couple of weeks, I got sick. I got weaker and weaker and weaker. And then, I was just blessed that my boxer, young Brock Jarvis, and the team that were there in Bangkok got an ambulance to come to my room, because I didn't want the ambulance. I told the boys to leave me alone. I'm right. I'll go to bed. I'll wake up. Like I said, had I went to bed that night, there'd be no interview tonight. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone's looking after you.
That's right. I think, and I'm being looked after because I look after a lot of people. I said, people can say what they want about me. I know who I am. I believe I'm one of the most generous people out there. People who know me, like I said, people who don't know you and they hear stories and they want to make up stories and talk crap. They can talk crap, but I know who I am, and that's all that matters.
Yep. Jeff, you must have been interviewed a million times. What's one question you'd wished someone had asked that they haven't asked you?
Too sure. They've asked me everything I've seen to be asked. And let me just give you a little bit of credit. It's always great to be interviewed by somebody who's done their homework and knows what they're talking about. So far, mate, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. And carry on.
What's next for Jeff Fenech?
Look, at the moment, I'm blessed. I've got a young boxer, Brock Jarvis, who just won a big fight on the weekend, and that's put me on cloud nine, on top of the world. So my plan is obviously to help him become world champion, and when I've done that, I'll be so happy. So we're in the middle of negotiations of hopefully getting a fight in America, having another couple of fights in Australia while COVID. But I'm very keyed into making sure that I can give Brock as much time and skill level and getting him ready for his next couple of fights prior to him fighting for the prize, and that's the world title.
Well, I'm sure with you in his corner, he's certain good percentage of the way there, Jeff. So
I hope so. I hope that knowledge and skill that I've been delivering is helping him so far. Like I said, 18 fights, 18 wins, 16 knockouts. So he's doing well.
Jeff, I really appreciate your time, and I'm sure the people out there that are going to be listening in this big show going around the world that we're putting on will be appreciative of some of the input that you've provided. We really appreciate taking some time out of your day. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I wish you well, and Brock and the guys next year in going there. Have a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. It's been a real pleasure to have you on the show, and thank you very, very much.
Okay, to the world that are listening, yeah, stay safe over Christmas. Stay safe from this crazy COVID disease. And if you've got a couple of minutes, just click on the BBX and have a look. That something might change your life and help you. So every opportunity should be looked at and looked through. And hopefully by me talking to you and giving you this opportunity to hear about BBX and go and check it out, and good luck. Have a great Christmas and New Year, and thank you very much.
Jeffrey Fenech, thank you very much.
Thank you.